Welcome to another episode of Austin Beers and Network Gear. My name's Billy Moran, I'm Director of Marketing. This is James Dollar, he's our CTO. Today we have the Austin Amber Original Ale from Independence Brewing here in Austin, Texas. Let's see what we got. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's the Amber Ale. It's been around Austin for a number of years. All right. So what are you talking about today, James?
We're talking about our new platform. Uplogix is launching the LM80 and the LM83X, the newest in our line of hardware appliances for doing network management over console ports, plugged into routers, switches, firewalls, servers. Really the same functionality we've had up till today, with just four times the storage, 4 times the processor, 4 times the memory, and 2 extra ports. We also have the ability to scale to 56 ports in our larger chassis that previously we could only do 38 ports to.
Awesome.
Yep.
So maybe what we should do is kind of build one up, see what we can do with it, see all the different configurations.
Great. So as you can see here in a side-to-side comparison, the 500 with the 6 ports, our new product in that space is going to be the LM80.
Okay.
Identical in functionality, except for it has 8 ports and has the ability to natively support a fiber optic interface on the chassis.
Okay. So it has a built-in SFP cage.
That's right.
Okay.
This one actually has the option slot SFP cage as well, showing you how you can have multiple. For the 5000 replacement is the LM83X. In the same way, instead of being a base 6, it's a base 8. So it slot 1 is 2 more ports than the 5000. We did switch up the slot numbering. In the past, it went from 1 to 2 to 3 in a right to left, and aligning more with the industry on that, we've changed that up to start on the left and move to the right. So slot 1, along with the base 8, is here on the right.
Okay.
So this would be slot 2. In fact, there's the slot 2,
All right.
slot 3, and the slot 4. And then the LCD module is an option in this model. So you can pop the LCD module out and actually put another 8 or 16 port card in there. So that's where we're going to get more port density.
Okay. And it also has an SFP.
It also has the onboard SFP, and in this case, we have an LTE mode in the option slot. Same number of virtual ports. Actually, all 4 of these support 16 virtual ports. They used to be slot 4 in the 500, 5000. They're now slot 5 in the LM80 and LM83X. So you can easily add 1 8-port option slot in slot 2, raising the total number of ports supported to 16. You could add another 8-port module into slot 3, take it to 24 ports. You could replace the LCD module with another 8-port, getting you 32 ports of RJ45 serial. You could add an 8-port Ethernet card, which will align with the base 8 in the chassis. Or you could put an 8-port card in slot 4, so we can support up to 16 ports of serial with 16 ports of dedicated Ethernet. Or we could swap and go to a 16-port line card. Gets us to 24. In this configuration, we have the base 8 on slot 1. We have a 16-port serial card in slot 2, an Ethernet card in slot 3 that matches the first 8 ports of the high-density card. And of course, we have the patch panel that breaks out these 16 connectors to these first 16. Or swap the LCD module for another 16 ports, breaking out to a 32-port per rack U patch panel. The first 8 of the slot 2 serial cards are still matched to the next 8 of the slot 3 Ethernet. Or there's the 56 port option, which starts with the base 8 and has 3 16 port cards. One U in this case broken out for 32 ports, one U for 16 ports, or you could have done all 3 as 16 port. We ship with 1.5 meter and 3 meter fan out cables. So these are plenty long to go from the front side of the rack to the back side into the back of the keystone connectors, giving you the RJ45 females, just like on the front panel. The new architecture is ARM-based instead of Intel. It's quad core instead of 2 core. It's got 4 times the RAM. It's got 4 times the disk. We now support up to 256 gig on M2 drives. These systems are very fast and designed to do all the things Uplogix does in a scale of 56 ports, plus 16 virtuals to connect to things that don't have a console port.
How does it feel from the user perspective, using the new boxes versus the old?
It feels lightning fast. It feels so much faster. The I/O is the first thing that is. It's M2 versus SATA. It's just much faster. It's ARM-based and instead of Atom, so the whole architecture is 4 to 6 times faster than the previous platform.
And the difference between the LM80 and the LM83X processor-wise, are there differences?
No difference. Both models support Opal drive encryption. Both models support 16 virtual ports on top of the base of the chassis.
Okay. So tell me what a virtual port is.
A virtual port is for connecting to devices that don't have a console port. For example, a firewall or a server that only has SSH as its interface, or only has HTTPS or a browser interface. We'll still give you a dedicated Ethernet connection to it if you have that card. Or again, if you've come in over an out-band connection like this LTE, we'll be able to route you to those connections, even if they're not physically tethered to the chassis. The LM83 has 2 fans for redundancy. The LM80 is no moving parts. The 5000 chassis had a USB mini console. The LM80 and 83X have the USB-C console.
So what would you use the onboard SFP for?
Right, so imagine you've put this LM80 in a IDF, a wiring closet, a remote wiring closet, and you only have fiber going to the wiring closet. In the past, you have to put in a transceiver to get to the copper connections. In this case, you plug the fibers directly into the chassis. In the past, you'd have to give up your option slot where you might want to put a LTE modem to get 2 fiber connections. If you fill all your slots with ports, you can always plug in our external LCD module, which gives you all the same functionality that was available from the onboard LCD module.
It just runs over the USB?
Yep. Tether it. It's got a magnet on the back. You can stick it to the top of your rack. Or if you've got the LM80, you can stick it on the rack, on the rack here.